dude was really badass. You know what I mean? Like, what was it? Yeah, Jeffree Star. Yeah, that guy. Dude, that guy has aura. It should just be like Jeffree Star. Yeah.
And what do you think?
What? Let's get a replay on that. Let's get a replay.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh
Dude, that guy
yeah.
has
Oh,
aura.
Jeffree Star. Oh
That
yeah.
was really
Yeah.
badass. You know what was it? Yeah, Jeffree Star. Yeah, that guy. Dude, that guy has aura.
Okay, for those of you that don't know, Jeffree Star, if I'm thinking of the right person, right? Am I crazy? I don't want to say the wrong thing. Jeffree Star has documented allegations of sexual assault and violence. Multiple people have accused him of non-consensual groping, using a taser to intimidate people, and at least one person says he was assaulted after being given Ambien. One key accuser described himself as a homeless teen at the time. He says this happened in 2009 when he was tased and later assaulted. We are reacting to Leaflit.
In front of the entire school.
Let's go.
Students in the UK recorded this audio of them challenging their teacher because they disagree with the student in the class who claims that she's a cat.
I'm reporting you to Miss Wood.
With a cat girl? Cat girl? I want to be a cat. What?
You need to have a proper educational conversation about equality, diversity, and inclusion.
The teacher gets so upset that she claims she's going to report them all.
Where the teacher should have gone with this conversation is, no, you can't identify as a cat.
They say, no, we're not going to play this game, and they challenge the logic that their classmate is in fact a cat. This sets the teacher off, though.
I tell you, you just really upset someone.
Oh, yeah?
Saying things like, should be in an asylum.
The thing is, to be honest, I don't really think they need an asylum. I'm just being real. Like, I know you might think that, but no, because if you just shut this down, this only occurs when people. Okay, how do I explain this? The reason why is because this person doesn't need to be in an asylum. They just need to be shut down. Because these people, when they're shut down, they're not allowed to like basically impose their quirky personality on other people in this way. If it's 100% known that it is not accepted or acceptable to be like that, to like force that upon other people, then they're not going to do it. The only reason this happens is because we've created this sort of hug box where we allow people to that their view of themselves should be projected.
Yeah, I disagree with you. All right, and here's why. In my experience, in my anecdotal experience, when you have kids that are saying, I'm a cat, right, I'm an attack helicopter, I identify as clown person, clown self, they are trolling you. They are trolling you, bro. That's it, and a lot of stupid adults fall for it. And that's why you get shit like this, where you're like, I think that you should be able to allowed to identify as a cat. You know, it's fucking stupid, okay? They're messing with you. Nobody identifies as a cat. Are furries real? Yes. Yes, people be furries. That's not the same as like I'm a cat. I'm a cat person. I am a person that is a cat, literally. Like, no, man. If somebody does believe that you can be trans species, they are mentally ill. Okay, yes. But it's just that these people do not exist. Right? Like, nobody believes that. It's not the same as being transgender. Because gender is not biology. It is roles pushed on you. They're ascribed to you. That's what it is. Okay, sociologists say you can change your gender. There's nothing that can stop you from doing that, other than, you know, people harassing you and killing you. Other than that, there's nothing stopping you from changing your gender. You cannot, however, physically be trans species. Right? It's just like how you can't be trans black by dyeing your skin. There are these biological hurdles that now in the future, could you maybe transform your genome, your DNA, and become a cat person? Maybe. Probably that's possible in like the distant future. But we don't live in that reality.
Upon everybody else's own personal views of them. So like if they didn't have the capability to actually force their perception of self onto other people, then this wouldn't happen. They'd just be like, oh, that's inappropriate, stop that. And then they keep saying I'm a cat. They're like, nope. And then they would have no choice really, but to just be a cat on their own time, away from other people, on the internet, whatever you want. VR chat, go be a cat on VR chat, you know what I mean? Or be a VTuber, be a cat. But you know, you can't really impose that on other people that don't want to take part, right? Like I'll give you an example. Like if you like have a friend group, furries for example, right? You have like a furry friend group and you're like, well, I identify as a cat, and then your friend's like, well, I identify as a dog. It's like, okay, well, you can have your little furry group and then you can just call each other cat, bear, whatever people do, wolf, yeah, whatever it is, rat, folk, or whatever. You do all that. With your own little group, you can call each other that.
That's what they do. That's what furries do. Have you ever heard of a furry convention? Have you ever heard of that, Leaflit? Oh, I don't know what that is. Oh,
whatever, right? But like, you can't force that upon people that don't want to participate. This is about consent, right?
Who identify as a cat or something, then they're like genuinely on.
No, really, like, I don't have a problem. Right? I really don't have a problem with that. Like, if a group of people together wanted to be like, we're going to have a club where we're furries and we're gonna act out and like and identify as animals, and then we're going to.
Leaflit cares so much about consent. Yo, Leaflit, #1 consent haver over here. #1 consent haver. When the other day she was trying to say that a person that never mind, I don't even really want to repeat. Basically, she said that like a person that is raped in their sleep isn't really being raped because they're sleeping. That's basically what she said. Also, she said that a child groomed themselves in her Discord server.
To treat each other like
I just want to
we're
repeat
that type of archetype, no problem with that. Because if everyone consents to it, it's fine. But the problem is they're forcing their self-perception on other people against their consent. That's the issue.
Oh yeah, but you know what the biggest problem in society is, according to Leaflit? It is trans furries pushing their furry agenda onto me. They want me to call them a cat person.
Yeah,
that's real.
There's something to be said for that. If you believe you are
It's
a cow
happening.
or a cat, there's something going on mentally.
You're questioning their identity.
No, really?
And the other thing too is I'm pretty sure they don't literally think that they're cat. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure they don't literally think that. I'm pretty sure what they're doing is they're using the current levers of power in order to force a quirky personality upon other people for their own I don't know, weirdness, quirkiness, their own sense of style or whatever. Like I feel like that's what they're doing, right? Like there's
No, the kid's a troll. That's it, okay? That's all it ever was. I did this shit in high school. Lots of other loser people I knew in high school also did this. Oh, I identify as attack helicopter. Haha, like that's it, bro. That's all it is.
To be like, I have a very interesting personality, and you will refer to me as
Sorry,
that
woke-tard. There's only two genders.
Kind of a little bit. You're not wrong. Cody, I think it's for the 1000 man, the most basic I've heard in a while. Yeah, I mean, it's all about consent, really, right? This is all caused by that. This is all caused by this ability to force. It's almost like it's kind of like, I don't want to say like it's sort of similar to being goth, but then like for goth people generally, it's an internal thing where it's like I identify with this subculture and that's how I dress. I don't give a fuck what you say. Do you know what I mean? And like I'm totally fine with that. But then like if they're like, listen, I'm goth and I'm literally a vampire, and you will treat me like I'm a vampire, then it's like that's a little bit much at that point. You know what I mean? Like that now you're
okay.
You're
Who
over
does
the line at
that?
point. And sorry, I know I'm going in
You're
circles.
way over the
The
line.
point I'm trying to say is that like this wouldn't happen if we didn't give them the power to control other people's perceptions. Does that make sense? Like they would have no ability to do this.
Yeah. Trans people are controlling your perceptions. Yeah, you will see me as a vampire cat girl. I'm gonna beam it into your retinas. Like, come on, man. How can conservatives be taken seriously? How do I get dogpiled every day? Every day one of my videos is getting dogpiled. And like, they get to say this shit, and nobody calls them on it. Let's look at the comments. Let's look at the let's see if anybody is we'll sort by newest. Yeah, Leaflet going on an endless tangent about something that isn't discussed in the video sounds like an insult, right? Is something I love about her, laughing until I'm crying. Oh, man. I haven't seen someone scat more than the guy trying to paint thinking you're another sex, race, or another species as a false equivalence. Scat. What? Who is scatting? What is this commenter trying to say? I don't think scat means what you think it means, bro. If you do know, then you need help, man.
their intentions
I
seem
don't know
motive if
what- I
you
don't
give
know
them the
what to
power to
tell
actually
you.
utilize it like that.
But where did you get this idea from? There's only two genders.
The teacher acts like this is some extremist idea that, oh, you've been on the internet too much. Where did you get this idea that there's two genders? Now, the students take an interesting strategy here. If she's allowed to have her opinion that she's a cat, why can't I have my opinion that there's only two genders?
My opinion. It is my opinion. If I respect their opinion, I can't know
It's just not an opinion.
But the teacher claims you're not allowed to hold that opinion.
Kodak Games for the 100, cool.
Yeah, because it's wrong. It's just factually incorrect. Like, you can say all day, like, there's only two genders, there's only two genders. Like, it just ain't true. All across the world, there are examples of third gender in societies. Okay, the thing is, though, gender is just whatever society says gender is. Okay, so if enough people in a society are like, there's this third gender, there's a third category, then it exists. Okay, because that's what makes it exist. So anyway, all that is to say is sociologists agree, and there is ample research to back this up, that gender is a construct made by people in society, and therefore there is nothing stopping you from making your own gender. Okay? Now, when it comes to neo-pronouns, I maintain the same opinion that I always have. Assuming that you are being serious about your neo-gender, your neo-pronouns, you can't really expect people, especially in our society, to acclimate to your neo-pronouns, okay, in most situations. That's just, it's never gonna happen. So, like, have realistic expectations. I think that neo-pronouns are kind of silly a lot of the time. Like I was saying earlier, I think they are used to troll, okay? I think that is very common. But I understand that there are, like, third gender people. There are, like, there are tons of NBs, okay? I've met them. And I'm not trying to erase their existence. I'm just trying to set expectations, okay? That's it.
I'll get all the wooden sticks then, if that's what you want.
Yeah, even though it's objective truth.
Gender is not linked to do with not linked to the parts that you were born with.
So this is the move that we usually see.
Dude, honestly, the most base play here is to tell them that they're not allowed to use any of the human bathrooms, and they have to shit in a litter box and only eat cat food. That's what they should have done. Should have been like, okay, you're a cat. Okay, let's see you be a cat then.
At some point, people just started to claim that gender is separate from sex.
That is about how you identify, which is what I said right from the very beginning.
No, I just don't agree with that. So why should I have to listen to
Biological sex, there is actually three biological sex, because you can be born into sex.
This teacher goes on to even
What
explain.
the fuck?
So why
Hold
should I have to
on.
listen?
She said she wanted to be treated like a vampire, so I stabbed her in the heart and burned her corpse in the mountain of garlic and crosses. Bro, that's crazy.
Biological sex, there is actually three biological sex, because you can be born into sex.
Ugh, no, it's an abnormal condition. It's not like a different thing. It's a deformity.
This teacher goes on to even claim that there are some people that have no gender.
Deformity? Alright. I mean, that is, kind of harsh coming from a non-medical professional. But, it's true that intersex people are a small percentage of the population. It's just that doesn't mean they're irrelevant. Okay, like, yeah, there aren't that many of them. Okay, that doesn't erase the fact that gender is a construct. And that intersex people, even though there's not that many of them, are a direct contradiction of the idea that biology is binary. Right? Biology is not binary. It is actually a spectrum. Okay, gender is binary. Now, of course, I say binary, right? That implies that there's two. Of course, that's what binary means. And I don't think that's necessarily true. But what I mean when I say binary is that gender is like a rigid category, right? People, so some people who are like allies or whatever, leftists or whatever the fuck, woketards, okay, some woketards will say that gender is a spectrum. Gender is not a spectrum. Okay, gender is a rigid category, right? You're either in one or the other. That's the way it is. It's not a fucking spectrum. Okay. Can you be like gender fluid, right? That's where you like change gender day by day. Okay, sure, bro. Whatever. Whatever. Do whatever. But like, but still, it's still a category. Like you're either one or the other. even if you change day by day, which is like the most extreme example. Okay, anyway, biology is not the same. Biology is a spectrum because there are multiple things that go into making you male or female, biological sex. Like I use the term emergent property a lot when I describe unintuitive things like gravity or like personhood. Okay, like and gender is sort of an emergent property in the idea that it's like multiple systems interacting with each other, but it is all confined to your biology, like your local group, or your biology is like the local group, and sex is an emergent property of the various systems going on there. So like you have your chromosomes, right? You have your physiology, right? Your genealogy, and this is what puts you in either male or female category. Okay, and that is a useful category for doctors. Okay, of course, because doctors be doing medicine based on your biology. Okay, but these like male and female categories, my point is that they are more like rough estimates of what you need, of the idea that your doctor needs to know about you and your biology in order to prescribe you the right medication, right? But it's just one small factor, right? Because sex is actually all of these different things that culminate in either one category or the other, if that makes sense. But a lot of people, all that is to say, a lot of people fall in between the sexes, and it's not just intersex people. Okay, there are also people who have male reproductive organs that have two X chromosomes. There are also males that have two Y chromosomes, right? They have X, Y, Y. That's an abnormality that happens as well. And of course, there are women, or I should say people with female reproductive organs that have XY chromosomes or even XXY chromosomes. So it's just, it isn't, and that's ignoring intersex people, right? All of that is just before you even get to intersex people. So it's not a binary. Okay, that's my point.
This. I hate when these people do this.
Transgender, there is agender, people that don't believe.
Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do hate it when we bring up intersex people because, you know, it directly contradicts everything you believe about this topic.
Have a gender at all.
Yeah,
Really don't believe that. I'm learning something here.
And the students point this out. They say, how's that even possible?
yeah, it's not like it's our opinion. We just don't agree with it. We just think it's all just. If you have a vagina or a girl, you have a penis or a boy.
Yeah, but cisgender is not necessarily the way to be. You were talking about the fact that cisgender is the norm, that you identify with the gender, with the sexual order that you're born with, or you're weird. That's basically what you're saying, which is really despicable.
And see, this is the point that I've been bringing up, right? You can be weird, but like, stop trying to make up some shit. You know what I mean? Like, just be weird. Just be a dude that likes to wear girl clothes, or be like a girl that likes to be a tomboy. What happened to femboy and tomboy? Can we just bring that back, guys? We need to bring it back. Like, seriously, just bring it back.
Wow.
Wow, it's back.
Remember when? Remember when? Remember in the before time? Yeah, dude. Great argument. Well, according to you, men in drag are trans. Okay, throwback to during that one Leaflit was reacting to Base Camp, and she was nodding along while they were all like, "Oh yeah, look at these." They were like looking at men in drag, and they were like, "Look at these trans women," when it was literally men in drag. Okay, it was like very clearly a drag show. They were like masculine people in women's clothing, and they were like, look at these trans women. They did that. Okay, so according to you, they're gonna end up being trans anyway, right? Because if you look at men in drag, you're just gonna be like, look at these trans people. Look at them.
Well, that's very sad as well then.
How is it? Most of people agree with that. There's only a small majority of people who actually.
Honestly, you know that one gay dude that like he there's like that one gay dude like dresses up like a well, he doesn't really dress up like a he just kind of looks like I can't tell. He was like a very effeminate man. That dude was really badass. You know what I mean? Like, what was it? Yeah, Jeffree Star. Yeah, that guy. Dude, that guy has aura. It should just be like Jeffree Star. Yeah.
And what do you think?
What? Let's get a replay on that. Let's get a replay.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh
That guy
yeah.
has
Oh,
aura.
Jeffree
That
Star.
was
Oh
really
yeah.
badass. That was really
Yeah.
badass. You know, what was it? Yeah, Jeffree Star. Yeah, that guy. Dude, that guy has aura.
Okay, for those of you that don't know, Jeffree Star, if I'm thinking of the right person, right? Am I crazy? I don't want to say the wrong thing. Jeffree Star has documented allegations of sexual assault and violence. Multiple people have accused him of non-consensual groping, using a taser to intimidate people, and at least one person says he was assaulted after being given Ambien. One key accuser described himself as a homeless teen at the time. He says this happened in 2009 when he was tased and later assaulted. His exact age and legal details are not fully clear in public reporting, but he describes himself as a teen. Starr and his lawyers have denied the allegations, called them false and defamatory, and he has not been convicted of sexual offenses. There are serious, well-reported accusations of sexual assault and abusive behavior, including toward at least one person who says he was a teen, but legally and factually, it's not correct to state the fact that Jeffree Star is a pedophile. It's more accurate to say he's a creator with a long history of serious assault allegations and controversies.
Just be like
Yeah,
Jeffree
very
Star.
cool,
Yeah.
very cool guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I like him too. True, true.
He needs to pivot to be a
In fact, you
conservative.
couldn't have the concept of being gay if there was no
Yeah.
such thing as biological gender.
I'm fine with lesbians and gay people.
They welcome
I'm not
pedophiles over
Yeah.
there.
Gender is, there is a link between it. If you're
Dude, hold on. How do you tell me? You're telling me that this teacher is getting out-debated by little children? How the fuck does that happen? How does that happen?
that people
That is
can change.
but then
She's like a grown-ass adult.
fine with lesbians and gay people.
Adults
I'm
are
not against
stupid.
that.
But gender is, there is a link between it. If you're saying that people
That
can
is
change
but they
who they want
can't.
to be.
They can't. Unless you get a
Yes,
penis
I will.
attached. No, I'm not.
You're confusing sex and gender.
No, I'm not though. Because if you have a vagina, you're a girl. If you have a penis, you're a boy.
You can't be, you can't have a vagina and be a girl. But
This is
Actually, the teacher was right about that. Her students are confusing sex and gender. If you're a penis, you're a little boy. If you got a vagina, you're a little girl. Dude, I swear, British people... Aren't British people, like, super inbred? Am I
The
crazy?
problem is the
That's
teacher claims
crazy.
they are objectively wrong.
My bad, Leaflit.
She says it right here. This is not up for debate. She's saying you are not allowed to have that opinion.
It's not
I thought they were.
No,
Yes, it is.
it's not. If you don't like it, you need to go to a different school.
This is where it just gets wild.
You go to a
She's
different
clearly
school?
stating it's our way or the
to a
highway. We will
different
kick you out of school if you
school.
do not buy into.
When she mentioned intersex, they should have mentioned that it's an abnormality, and it is so abnormal that it's a pretty solid chance that nobody in their class is intersex. And just ask the class if anyone in the class is intersex.
Yeah, so? Oh, nobody's in... Nobody... So? That doesn't change the argument. You could be like, oh, it's not that many people. It's not that many people, stupid teacher. Like, no, man. It doesn't matter how many intersex people there are. It doesn't matter how many... how much of the population is intersex. What matters is what intersex tells us about gender and about sexual category, sexual biological category. That's it.
To raise their hands. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It is an abnormality. It's very rare, and like it means that there's an abnormality in the norm, which is male and female. That's what it means, and it does happen, right?
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
The fact that that's
So it
not
doesn't
the-
matter.
That's not the. It doesn't create like a new thing. There being an issue. Like again, human.
Nobody's saying it creates a new thing. We're saying that there is no thing. There is no sex thing, right? There are these two categories, okay? The problem with these categories in the way conservatives frame it is that a lot of people fall in between the two, okay? Because these categories of biological sex, they are emergent of multiple systems in your body that can all go one way or the other, right? You can have one thing be male typical and one thing be female typical. So a lot of people fall within the margins. It's not just like everybody is either on one side or the other side. That's not really how biology works, Leaflit. That's not really how it fucking works. That's it.
Things come in 2 arms and 2 legs. Just because a person doesn't have an arm, is missing an arm or leg, doesn't mean that that's not the state that humans have. It means that there was something that happened. There was an accident that happened, or there was some kind of genetic issue that occurred, which made them not have 2 arms and 2 legs. Right? That's yeah.
If you want to say that intersex people are deformed, I think that is extreme. I think that is maybe technically accurate. I'm not a doctor. It's I don't know. It's like it's like having two Y chromosomes a defect, right? Is it like, well, maybe, right? Because it's not typical, okay? But is it a detriment to your quality of life? Does it make you infertile? The answer is no. Does it change? Does it have some kind of cognitive, does it have some kind of effect on your cognition? The answer is no, okay? For a long time, there was this myth that men with two Y chromosomes were more violent, okay? It's just that that's fucking stupid, because your Y chromosome doesn't make you violent, okay? And it doesn't make you a man either.
The student.
That's it.
Exactly. And I'm not saying that people who don't have 2 arms and 2 legs are not human. I'm not saying that intersex people are not human and don't deserve to be treated with respect.
Yeah, nobody
I'm
said that
like,
you said
they're
that.
trying to use cases of these obvious abnormalities to try to create.
But you did call them deformed, though, right? You did call them deformed, and that's kind of like dehumanizing language, right? Or do you disagree? Do you disagree with that, Leaflit?
By the
Why?
way, which even has nothing to do. The gender thing that they're bringing
Why
up
is
with
there a
something that they're
border
bringing up has
collie
nothing to do with it. They're like
in the bottom
using
left? Is that
intersex
an
people
Australian
and,
Shepherd?
Their abnormalities, their deformities, they're
What is that
using
doing
that
there?
as like they're basically using that.
This dog should not be exposed to this. This poor little dog.
Castle from which to attack from. When it doesn't even, their argument is about people that don't even have those conditions. Shuckle, thank you so much for the bits as well. Thank you.
Supporting you to Miss Willis, you need to have a proper
It's a Mon and Bailey
educational
argument, exactly.
conversation.
A proper.
No, dude, the argument is about sex, and it's about gender. That's what it's about, okay? Intersex people fall within the confines of this discussion. They do. They're not the same as trans people. They're not the same as whoever the fuck you're talking about, okay? Nobody's saying that. Nobody said that.
Educational conversation. I would love to have that conversation. I'd be very curious to see how that would go, what that would look like.
About equality, diversity, and inclusion. Because
About DEI. What is...
This is why I point out DEI so much, because it encompasses so much. It's not just the racial component. It plays out like you're seeing here as well.
I'm not having that expressed in my lesson. When I'm teaching you about you can be who you want to be, how you identify is up to you.
These students can't be who they want to be. They can't disagree with.
Dude, I'm gonna be real. Like I feel like I just understood something right now. I don't actually think this has anything to do with weird people. Really, I don't think this has anything to do with weird people that like want to be cats, want to be dogs, trans people who want to be whatever gender. I don't think this has anything to do with that actually. I think it's everything to do with narcissistic people. It's just narcissistic people. They're the problem. What the hell is this? You know what I mean? Yeah, they're trying to force their beliefs on other people, their own idea of themselves. Right? It's the same thing where they say like, hey, well, you know what? I weigh 500 pounds. You better love me. If you know, I'm hot. I'm super fucking hot, right? Or like, you know, you should like people no matter how they look. It's like they're pushing what you want, what you like onto. They're pushing their idea of that onto you. That doesn't make sense. You know what's true?
No, Leaflit. We know that you think this. Okay, you say this shit over and over again. Okay, nobody's pushing anything onto you. We're just correcting you. Okay, we're just calling you a fucking dumbass, and you're crying over it. You're like, oh, you just want me to call you the right words. Like, no. No, we're just telling you you're wrong. Okay, you're wrong. If you misgender people, you are a bad person. You deserve to be shamed. But we're not gonna force you to, like, at gunpoint, right? We're not gonna shock therapy you like you want to do to gay people. We're not gonna shock you into calling people their correct pronouns, you fucking weirdo. We're just like, oh yeah, like, you don't really understand gender and sex and the differences between them, and like, you seem to be unwilling to actually come to any sort of understanding about the actual reality of this subject. And you're like, oh, you're trying to oppress me. I'm being oppressed right now.
But like, yeah, you know, this
so
they
sad.
have all these issues where they're trying to push like their it's all narcissism basically. It's all narcissism, trying to wield their own internal world and trying to like project it on other people's perception.
Yeah, your enemies are all evil narcissists. Yeah, bro.
Because again, I don't really have a problem with trans people that want to be left alone and they're like, you know, whatever, like gender's real, you know, and that's just a fact. Gender's real. I have no problem with a furry that's like, well, you know, I want my friends to call me a cat. And
Gender is real. Yo. Leftist and trans people, they always be saying that that gender is not real. That's what they say. That gender is not real. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that famously. That's what we're all saying. Yeah, bro.
I have no problem with that.
Gotcha.
When you're trying to like force it on other people, that's where I have a problem. I don't consent to like participate in your fucking weird game.
This person being a cat.
They just don't say it, because then yeah.
Your weird
Simple,
game.
I don't consent to being a part of your kink. Yeah, exactly.
The tolerance.
It's not a game, Leaflit. It's people's identity, right? Their self-perception. That's what it is. It's not a game.
Go so far.
I haven't said anything all of the lessons I've been in. It's just because they turned around and started saying something. So I said, how can you identify as a cat when you're a cat?
Well, they're now writing a statement. I would imagine that you'll be asked to write a statement.
That
as well.
poor dog. That dog doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
Procedure over
Yeah.
there. I'm glad this got caught on camera. Now, this recording caught the attention of the media in the UK.
So think about. I totally forgot what I was going to say. Like, my mind just got fully wiped when I saw that. All right, okay, I remember now. What I was going to say is imagine the amount of these cases, by the way, that don't get reported because they don't get reported. So this happens more than it's happening right now. Probably by a large factor, actually.
And I will make a
Now, this
Wait,
recording-
what? What is your evidence? Of what? This is happening a lot more? How? Like, there are things in life, right? There are statistics where it's like, okay, like, this might be underreported. Here's why. Okay, then you follow it up with here's why it's probably underreported. What is stopping people from reporting about that? I mean, it's not like we're talking about a statistic anyway. We're talking about a news story, right? Just a random fucking frivolous argument between a teacher and her dumbass students. So, like, I don't know, like, what do you mean underreported? What do you mean
caught
by
the attention
that?
of the media in the UK.
The teacher,
And
and
how?
I will make a direct quote, said, that is not an opinion that we express in this school, and if you don't like it, you need to go to a different school. Now,
The way she dealt with it was completely unprofessional, and to say that if you express these views that she really has decided is unacceptable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Look, I feel like I kind of agree with conservatives about this one thing, okay, which is, I think teachers are too fucking nice to dipshit students. I really think, like teachers, they're too pussy now. They're like, oh, I don't really want to tell this kid that they're wrong. It's like, why? Why not call them names? Call them idiot. Like shame them, you know? Like I am all for bringing shame back to our schools, okay? I think schools are too inclusive. They're too nice. To conservative people specifically, okay? Conservative students. They need to be bullied by the staff, alright? Not other students. Like, here's the thing, okay? I am against peer-to-peer bullying. Okay, I'm against that. I think only people in positions of authority should do the bullying because that is the most effective. That is that will get, I'm telling you, they will change their minds quickly if you start allowing that. Alright, and anyway, teachers are woke-tarded, okay? So they should be given this power. They're woke-tarded, they're underpaid. They, let them go on a power trip fantasy. Okay, let them do it, as long as it's against the stupid fucking kid that's like, oh yeah, I identify as an attack helicopter. I am the funniest person ever. I'm the funniest person of all time.
School. If you don't like it, find another school.
Now, this is the interesting part when she turns over to one of the co-hosts.
This is bonkers, isn't it, Nigel?
Well, I mean, the
Wait,
teacher...
what the hell? Name your bro. Wait, you have that many, and then you have an other? Wait, what is passing? What does that mean, bro?
The teacher was unnecessarily aggressive on this one. I thought the kids were actually fighting
Dude, the
back quite
character often is
admirably.
amazing. I love
Where the
it.
teacher should have gone with this conversation is, no, you can't
Thanks, Mama.
identify as a
Thank
cat, or an aardvark, or a chihuahua, or something like that. You cannot identify as a different species.
Who at first sounds reasonable, but it turns out...
Dude, what is British media, bro? What is this? This is what British people are talking about? Why? Like, this is the kind of shit I would expect to see on American news. Like, if I saw this on American news, I'd be like, oh, okay. Alright, yeah, sure. But what the fuck what's going on over there? What happened? Are they putting something in the water? They put stupid juice in the water? What's going on, man?
Gender is subjective and fluid.
But you think you can change your gender?
But I do think you can change your gender.
You
Why is it that
can't
cats
change your
are changing
gender.
my biological
You
reality?
can't change your
Bro, what? Okay, you said it first half,
species.
bruh. You can't change your biology, brother. You can't.
And my point to this, by the way, this is what oh my god. Dude, I wish some trans people would just fucking listen to me. All you have to say, yes, biological reality is real, but I just want to live like this anyway. Please leave me alone. That's all they need to say. And be like, I'm not
That is what they say. That is what they say. And then you want to know what happens? Our politicians are like, let's eradicate transgenderism with legislation. Yeah. You know what? You know what happens, dude? Conservative mobs fucking lynch them and kill them. brutalize them, beat the shit out of them for existing, for say that's what they get for saying please leave me alone. So it doesn't fucking matter what they say. They might as well say the truth. They might as well tell you the truth. Yeah, they could be like, oh, well, like, I understand biology. I do understand biology. I swear, conservatives, please don't hurt me. Please leave me alone. But we're done fucking doing that. If you lynch trans people, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. J-Star's coming for you. I'm gonna fucking find you. And I'm gonna make your head explode like a watermelon.
Sports or anything like that,
I'm gonna stomp on it.
They just need to do that. I'm serious. Like, that's all they need to do, and then nobody will care. Trying to be like, there's no such thing as a biological reality because that affects you and it hurts you to like understand that that's the case is crazy because everybody can observe it. This is ridiculous.
Straw man.
That is enshrined in British law for most purposes.
So you think, so for example, I could decide so you're saying a cat is me taking it too far, but I could
It's a different species, so it would be ridiculous.
This is why it really makes me think it's narcissism, because it's not about like let me live my life. It's about like it's
about pushing it on other people.
Very obvious. It's like,
I'm pushing it on you. I'm pushing it on you.
By self-ID issues, it's very, very obvious the problems that could be caused by the sports
yeah,
issue.
Leaflit,
It's very,
come
very
on,
obvious
come
that
on,
that
get it
biology is
out.
real, and that the methods of which people use do not literally polymorph a person into the other gender. It's very obvious that these are the case, and it's like I get it, like it hurts their feelings, but like why
Don't
fight
talk
the
about
reality that's objective?
polymorphing.
Like, what it seems like to me is like there's this
Alright,
reality
that's my
I don't want
thing.
to accept because I don't like this reality, and because I don't like this reality, I want to delete the entire concept of it from existing. Does that make sense? It's all about wanting to be. This is why I think it's a narcissistic issue. This is why I think it's a narcissistic issue because I've met
Straw
people
man.
that aren't like this. I've met trans people that aren't like this. So it's like I think the issue is just there are systems currently in place in society that give narcissists power over other people, and they are wielding it.
You should talk to your trans friends. You should ask them about what they think gender is and what biology is, because you know what you'll be saying to every single one of them after you ask them that? You'll be saying the same thing you're saying here. Oh, you don't believe in gender. Well, I think gender is real. Okay, we're all telling you the same thing, dumbass. Everyone's telling you the same thing. Gender is a social construct. That doesn't mean it's not real. It is a real social construct.
The maximum of its potential. That's what I think it is. I don't think this has anything to do with furries. It has nothing to do with weird people. Has nothing to do with trans people that want to be left alone. This is all narcissistic people using whatever levers of power they possibly could use. Which is why, by the way, you see this also happening.
But trans people aren't being left alone, Leaflit. That's the thing. They're not being left alone. They're being legislated out of existence. They're being brutally murdered by dipshit conservatives that blame their financial instability on trans people and immigrants. That's what's happening. Oh, why don't trans people just ask us nicely to leave them alone? Well, I don't know, man. It doesn't really seem like that's been working.
I can prove this, by the way. Let me prove this to you. This isn't just trans people doing it, and this isn't just furries doing it. There are also people doing this along racial lines. I'm this race. Prove to me that you're not racist by giving me stuff. That has happened so much. Actually, you know what? I have a video, and I think this is totally related. This is my proof. Actually, let me finish this video, and then I'll show you the proof.
Okay, you can't change your species, but you can change your entire biological makeup. Makes sense.
Identify, as long as it's the same species, you're comfortable that I could identify as that.
And she makes an interesting move here.
So I could identify as a man.
Yes, you can.
Could I identify as a black man?
Then it gets more complicated.
Wait,
Because
why? Why?
No, that would be too far.
Yes,
But why?
it doesn't make
You
sense.
can't explain why. It just gets more complicated.
Because there is no, you can't be racial. You can't be fucking transracial, dude. You can't trans yourself into being black. That's crazy. I just want to say that this is not a fucking like genuine question, of course. Like they're drawing a comparison between gender and race. And they're saying, look at these things. These things are perfectly parallel. Except that racial category is imposed on people based on their lineage, which is something you can't just change with your internal identity. Okay? Whereas gender is the roles that are ascribed to you based on your biological sex. And that is much less concrete, but that's not really the reason that you can be transgender and not trans black or trans Asian or whatever else. The reason is that transgender is an internal identity, whereas your race Your skin color is an external identity. If that makes sense. It's something that other people apply to you. That's it.
How these conversations go.
Transgender is something that is a personal necessity.
What do you mean by a personal necessity? Well, why can't being a black man be a personal necessity? Who gets to define personal necessity?
Yeah, because it works too. Like it's a personal necessity for me to be a cat, and it's like, well, you're not a cat. Well, if you don't let me be a cat, then I'm going to.
You gain nothing from being black. You gain nothing. There is nothing. Dude, this shit is so fucking crazy to me. These people are not being serious. It's just they are being serious in that they are seriously making this argument. They are actually like trying to do this, and it's so fucking funny every time because they're like, oh well, like you could just be trans anything. You could just be trans black. You said that if you could be transgender, you could be trans anything.
Edward, if I can change.
But at the same time, they're like, oh yeah, being trans whatever is infinitely sillier than being transgender, which is why we're presenting it in the first place, because it looks sillier than because transgender is an actual legitimate thing. Basically, they're trying to undermine trans identity by presenting all these other pseudo-trans identities to be like, look at how ridiculous it is. These are the same thing. They are.
Change my biological sex, and I can change my race as well. Don't pick and choose now.
If you're trying to change your race, that is a choice, and it also affects another community.
Well, do you not think that this whole transgender thing affects another community, men, saying that they can be women? Do you not think that the community of women are affected by that?
Well, they are, and that's where we talk about women's spaces.
And this is where this whole thing crumbles.
But if under the law, a woman can have a penis.
Yeah, I mean,
the question then is whether or not that woman should be able to use women-only spaces. I think not, by the way. But the only difference under the law is you don't send a trans woman with male genitalia into a prison.
Firstly, just because something is law doesn't mean that it makes sense that it's right. And you know,
I fucking hate
I've seen
boomers.
two women destroying a woke dude. This is not. This is usually the other way around, bro.
the logic is the same. It doesn't matter if you're identifying as a different race or if you're identifying as a different species, because the whole point of being transgender and having gender dysphoria is the idea that you were placed in the wrong body.
Jeez, always has been before woke. It was the Christians that never.
No, it doesn't. That's not what that means. I hate that line. It means you're born in the wrong body. Like, shut the fuck up. The fuck do you know, bitch? The fuck do you know? No, people who are transgender weren't born in the wrong body. They were born in their body. They were born with the wrong gender assignment.
Never read the Bible calling everything the work of Satan. Before that, it was the hippies demanding everyone else work to pay for drugs. Before then, it was always boomers every time. Damn. Now to back it up and to loop back around to the point I was making earlier about how, you know, it's not just the kind of crazy furry thing and the trans thing. There are people doing that along other lines that people would consider to be more understandable. And you'll see it's the same pattern of like pushing how they feel about themselves onto other people and forcing them and using it as a cudgel that they can wield power over other people. And let me show you a clip of that from earlier. I saw this earlier. Oops,
okay.
Prove to me you guys are not racist and let us two sit down. So you guys are racist? Or you just don't want to prove it?
Wait, I'm trying to see something. I'm trying to see something.
Yeah. Prove that you guys are not racist and let us two sit down. All right, come on. Let's do it. Prove it. Prove you're not racist. That's one. One more.
Hey, got him.
Guys are going viral. They're going to say you're so good. Look at, where's your name? Say your name. Say it. It's a good. Good job, guys. You did good.
You see what I mean? Like they're using whatever power that they can. They're leveraging power over other people to force them to
Oh my god. Guys, look at this silly TikTok where everybody's joking around and laughing in it. They're using it to get the seats on the subway. Black people, they're abusing their power. Ah. Do you think that the women in this video were like, oh man, I don't want to be seen as a racist. Oh, I better get up. I better give them my seat. Oh no.
Honestly,
Allies. Prove to me.
You're gonna glow.
Thank you, ladies.
You're good for this world, dude. Don't you will get fucked up. I have a gun, so I would hope that they would not fuck with me. Let's see. You can't shut out though. Why not? Look at what they're doing to people. They deserve it, to be honest. That answers my question. Dude, that's gonna get clipped, dude. There's gonna be an article that says Leaflit would call black people the N-word. It's gonna be like, Leaflit says she.
That is what you said though. I mean, to me, it's just par for the course, right? I don't really give a fuck, but. That's what you said. Also, you said that you would shoot them if they said if you don't get up, you're racist. Like, it's the same thing as like It's just dumb, bro. It's just dumb humor. Okay, who cares? Who cares? Like, it's silly. Whatever. Yeah, if you don't watch the J-Star broadcast, you're gay. How about that? How about that? That's serious.
Unfortunately, we get carried in New York City. Oh, that's true. That's true. Good point. Good point. Someday, someone will say you started the fight. Gains 2 million subscribers in 24 hours. Leaflit the builder. Leaflit shut down on stream. Oh man. Blood Ninja Leak says my people keep taking L's, bro. You're not them. You're not like this. You're not. You don't gotta worry about it. You don't gotta apologize for anything, man. Just because you're the same skin color as them, you're not that. This is a completely different thing. It's not even the same tribe. You know, when I say tribe, like, you know, just to clear it up for people who are gonna freak out, I don't mean tribe in that way. I mean tribe as in cultural tribe. You're not the same cultural tribe as them because you wouldn't do this. Individuals are individuals. You're your own person. Exactly. Yeah.
What do you mean by tribe then? Well, you were like, oh, I wasn't talking about African tribes. Oh no, I'm not a racist. Yeah, I'm not a racist or anything. Don't worry. I wasn't talking about African tribes. Okay. Alright, cool. Yeah, wow, I thought that you were racist for a minute. But then you clarified.
I will be called a cat. I will be called a cat. I will shit in litter box at school. It's the same tribe as like trans people saying like, I'm gonna go do women's sports no matter what. Don't really care about the advantage or the effects it has on other people. It's the same. This is the same thing. And this is kind of what I'm trying to say, right?
Trans people playing sports affects me.
It's not actually like, it's not black people. It's not it's not black people. It's not trans people. It's not furries. It's not whatever group you want to choose. It's narcissists. It's narcissists that also happen to have those traits that are utilizing said traits in order to it's like their ammo. Their whatever it is their immutable characteristic, their quote unquote immutable characteristic or quirk is the ammunition for their narcissism. I would have told him, get to the back of the Yeah, I think I'm right. Like, what do you guys think? Like, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat. Like, what do you guys think? Do you think that narcissists are the problem? Because I actually think that's what it is. I think if you just take the category of narcissists, you will see that all of the exceptions, right? Because there's exceptions, right? There's furries that aren't annoying. There's you know, there's very obviously black people who aren't like this, and there's trans people who aren't like this either. And what's the factor that they don't have that the others do? It's narcissism. So I think we can distill the problem down to narcissists being given a tool. It's narcissists being given a cultural technology, which is immutable characteristic bitching and complaining. The technology of let me use my oppression to use it as a cudgel to like force other people to do what I want, right? So they've discovered this cultural technology of oppression and utilizing it, and then they're just using that basically. It's narcissists given the societal capability, given the cultural technology combined is what caused this problem. And so narcissists always existed, but they weren't able to manifest any power because they didn't have this cultural technology. So right, if you were to remove everyone's care for their oppression, they would have no power. None of this would happen, right? You wouldn't have people saying I'm a cat, so you're gonna treat me like a cat at school. Wouldn't happen if they had no power. Oh, you know what?
Yeah, you know what narcissists were dreaming about? Before trans people, they were like, oh man, I wish I could demand that everyone call me cat person, cat self. Oh man, I wish that I could force everyone into believing that I'm actually black when I'm white by identifying as black. Yeah, that's exactly what they were thinking. That's exactly what narcissists were thinking. You're so right, dude.
We're gonna, you know what? I decided I'm trans today. I'm gonna go in the women's restroom, and I'm gonna go in the women's restroom and be a creep. Wouldn't have happened. A person acting like this, like a black person acting like this in some way, wouldn't have happened. None of this would have been tolerated. He's only doing this because he knows he has power. So that's what the issue is. So the solution becomes obvious to me, and it's that we need to remove this cultural technology from existence. We need to together develop a counter technology to this cultural technology that they've developed. And if we can do that,
we need
stop
to
caring
eradicate
about
trans
people.
people.
The narcissist will move on to some other techniques. But it is a never-ending battle against narcissists because they're always gonna keep trying to find new techniques that they can use.
Well, you would know a lot about narcissistic techniques.